Hi guys, welcome to Business Principles. Today we're going to start a new chapter. It is called Legal Environment. And part of the legal environment is contracts. So today we're going to talk about contracts and what a contract is and the parts of a valid contract. So, what is a contract? A contract is an exchange, promise, or agreement between two parties that is enforceable by law. And there are key elements of a contract that have to be met in order for it to be a valid legal contract. And here's a listing of them: offer and acceptance, genuine assent, legality, consideration, capacity, and proper form. And we're going to talk about each part of these. Offer and acceptance, there must be an agreement of an offer and acceptance upon which to base the contract. The offer must be definite and accepted without changing it. For example, if I had a car to sell and I offered you the car and I said, I'll sell you my car for $400. And you said, okay, I'll buy your car for $400. That's offer and acceptance. But if I offer to sell you my car for $400 and you say, no, I won't pay $400 for it, but I'll give you $300, that's not a contract because you changed the offer. And there was no acceptance because there was a change made. So there must be an offer and acceptance without change. There also must be genuine assent. That means that you really mean to, that you're honestly wanting to do what you're offering to do. You can't be based on deception, omission, or pressure. You can't force someone into signing a contract, because if they do it under force, then it's not a legally binding contract. Legality. What the parties agree to must be legal. You can't get a contract to kill somebody because that's not legal. So you have to make sure what you're doing is legal. Consideration. What is exchanged in a contract and the reason for the contract. One party gives something up and one party provides something in return. So, for example, if I'm selling you my car for $400, I'm giving up my car and you're giving up $400. We're each receiving something and we're each giving something up in return. Also, capacity. The individuals involved in the contract must be able to understand the conditions of the contract. Minors under 18 can't enter into a contract, or people who are mentally impaired, or if they're under influence of drugs or alcohol, they cannot be held to a contract. So you have to be able to understand what you're agreeing to in order for the contract to be legal. Now, that doesn't mean you have to understand all the legal mumbo-jumbo terminology in the contract, but as long as you can understand in essence what the contract is saying, you can be held legally responsible. It must also be in proper form. And what this means is both parties must mutually agree to the terms of the contract. It can be oral or it can be in writing, and some agreements must be in writing to be fully enforceable in court. For example, if you're selling real estate, yes, you have to have that in writing. Usually, anything with a value over $400, it must be in writing to be a legally binding contract. Otherwise, an oral agreement is fine. If you do have an oral agreement, it's always smart to have witnesses to vouch for the validity of the contract and what each party in the contract agreed to. The other thing is the requirements of an offer. An offer is a proposal by an offerer to do something, provided the offeree does or refrains from doing something in return. So, for example, if I am offering you my car, I will sell you my car provided you give me $400 for it. So, that's an offer of something in return. So, in order for a contract to be legally enforceable, it has to be, there's three things that must be present. One is contractual intent. One is communicated to the offeree. And the final one is that the offer is complete and definite. Now, contractual intent. Although words may indicate an offer, the circumstances under which they are spoken may invalidate the offer. For example, if you speak in jest, if you're making a joke about it, that's not legally enforceable. Or statements made in anger or in terror, or negotiations, they will invalidate the offer. For example, if I say, I am so tired of my dog, he's aggravating me to death, I'll sell him to somebody for $1. I say that in jest. I don't mean that. I don't mean that I'm going to sell my dog for $1. So that's an example of something that would invalidate the offer of a contract. The offer must also be communicated to the offeree. A person who is not the offeree cannot accept an offer. For example, going back to my car again, if I offer you my car for $400 and you say no, but your friend is standing beside of you and said, I'll pay you $400 for that car, that's not a contract because I didn't offer the car to that person. It has to be the offeree to accept the offer, in order for it to be a validly binding contract. The essential terms must also be complete and definite. Nearly all offers, at a minimum, must identify the subject matter, the price, and the quantity to be legally effective. And each essential term of the contract must be identified clearly. So, if I'm selling my car is the subject matter, the price is $400, and the quantity is 1 to be legally effective. So if you accept that, then we have a binding contract.